Season 8 of our Youth to Gold save with VfB Stuttgart was probably our most successful ever. It might actually be our most successful in the entirety of the save. We are obviously now in Season 9, and we are going to be going to the Club World Cup this year. A Club World Cup which appears to be held in South Korea for some reason. I don't know why. Last time around it was Australia. The season, or not season, but the time before that, it was over in the USA like in real life. Because this is a Youth to Gold save, just a very quick reminder of the rules. We are not allowed to sign anybody who is not a teenager. Basically, if they are 20 or older, we are not allowed to sign them. We are allowed to sign 19-year-olds also. We must sell anybody who is 30 years old. Which, luckily for us, is actually nobody, because we basically just got rid of absolutely anybody who is even approaching 30 years old, which means Laurent Ulrich, who might be getting 30 within the next couple of seasons, he might be out the door in the summer. Obviously, at the start of a brand new season, we do have a transfer window. However, we are back on the 12th of June rather than the 1st of July because of the Club World Cup. A Club World Cup, by the way, that we will be up against Colo Colo of Chile, ES Tunis, and Real Madrid. We should be finishing in the top 2 of this group. I don't know whether we should be able to win this or not. I've no idea. I feel like we should be able to get far enough. Like semi-finals, I'd take that. That would be a very good performance for us. We've now jumped forward a little bit now to the 1st of July, so the transfer window has opened. Obviously, we are still part of the way through the Club World Cup, and we have made it all the way through to the quarter-finals up against Benfica, a tie that we should certainly be good enough to win. We are one of 7 European sides left in the competition. River of Argentina, the only team not from Europe left in the competition. How did we get here? Well, let's jump to all groups, because I can't remember what one we're in. We won the group. We won twice against ES Tunis and Colo Colo, scoring 10 goals and conceding 0, and we drew 3-3 with Real Madrid. That set up a second round tie up against Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia, where we eventually beat them 3-2 after extra time, and then that brings us into the quarter-final. I'm starting to think we could win this. We should be getting to the semi-final, where we're going to have, PSG, Bayern or Real Madrid, and then, let's say, Barcelona. I'm assuming PSG are going to beat River. They might not. Anyway, the transfer window is now open, of course. We've done absolutely no business as of yet. We have a whopping £70 million to spend, and because we have only got, technically, 3 transfer windows left, or 4 transfer windows left, between now and the end of this save, which will end at the end of Season 10, I feel like we need to spend it at some point. Maybe not this season, maybe this season. I mean, we do spend silly money on silly people. It could happen again. Right then, let's jump forward to the end of the transfer window. We will obviously see what happens as well in the Club World Cup. Hopefully, we can put our first trophy in the cabinet for the season. We are in 5 competitions. We will also see the German Super Cup to see how well we can do in that. The Champions League will also start. Obviously, we're not going to actually do anything. We might actually play a game. Probably not. But yeah, let's jump forward then to about the 1st of September. We made it all the way through to the Club World Cup final, where up against PSG we took the lead after just 3 minutes. Hughes from the penalty spot in the second half, in the 62nd minute. PSG, however, managed to equalise in the match. It is João Rego getting a bit of space, finding Goslar on that left-hand side and finding Mbappe in the middle. But that led to penalties. Nothing else really happened. I say nothing else. Mbappe technically did score a goal, but it got disallowed. It took us all the way through to penalties. And penalties that were eventually won by ourselves, somewhat anticlimactic, because I can't work out how to actually get the replays of the missed penalties. It shows me all the scored ones, but not the missed penalties. We managed to win, 6-5 on penalties. Mbappe missing a penalty for PSG, Varela missing one for us, but Borza missing the vital penalty for PSG, meaning we are champions of the world, I think. Nobody really calls it that, do they? Nobody calls it champions of the world, but we are champions of the world. We join the illustrious company of Arsenal, Inter Milan, Man City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern, Liverpool. Real Madrid won it a lot, apparently. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern, Corinthians, possibly one of the very few teams not from Europe to win it. We've got Barcelona, Inter, Barcelona, Man United, AC Milan, International Sporting, it's not Sporting, Santos, I'm not quite sure, and Corinthians once again. So, basically European sides that win it from this point out. We have also kicked off the league. We're on top of the table, 3 wins out of 3. We've beaten Freiburg, Kiel and Hoffenheim 3-0, every single one of them, meaning we have a positive 9 goal difference with 0 goals conceded. We have also won the German Super Cup, beating Hertha 3-0 in the final. Obviously not showing you highlights of that. We've also had a transfer window where we spent stupid money. First of all, 5 players have left on permanent deals. Kylian Buchmann has left. He has moved over to Schalke for not a lot of money. He's gone for £140,000. Marcos Cardenas has also left the club. He has moved over to St. Pauli for £165,000. I don't know how we've managed to get an Ecuadorian 18-year-old through our youth intake, but we did, and we sold him. Moving into players that you've probably actually heard of, John Mullen has moved over to the United Kingdom, signing for Bristol City for £4 million. I mentioned that he might be on his way out, and he certainly did leave the club. Lauren Ulrich has moved over to BMG for a massive £20 million, 17.5, initially going up to £20 million for somebody who basically was just coming off the bench for the last, three seasons for the most part. He was a bench player. That's a lot of money. And somebody who isn't a bench player, or wasn't a bench player, has moved over to Nantes. It is Mikel Perez, and he's gone for £62 million. I think I mentioned Nantes before, maybe in the last episode, that they've got a stupid amount of money, and they just love spending it. And they are spending it on our players, which is lovely to see. It means we have sold, I think, £90 million worth of players in the summer, and we're going to spend some of it. Not a lot of it, to be honest. We've brought in 3 players. We've brought in Cristea Madeline, an 18-year-old Romanian international who's utterly ridiculous in my eyes, signed from Universitatea Craiova. He has cost us £6.25 million. Is he a wonder kid? Of course he's a wonder kid, and a perfectionist. He could be amazing. I mean, he already is amazing, right? For £8.5 million, we've gone over to Sparta Prague to sign Josef Navratil, an 18-year-old Czech international striker, and apparently maybe a right-back. I'm not quite sure why he might be a right-back. He is not a wonder kid, but he is obviously very, very good. He's not cost a lot of money. He's gone back on loan to Sparta Prague for the rest of the season because we're not going to play him. And finally, Levin Kroner, who is an 18-year-old German international central defender signed from RB Leipzig, spent last season out on loan at Kiel. Just guess. Tell me in the comments how much you think we paid for him, and I will tell you that you're completely wrong because it is £73 million. I think it might even go higher than £73 million. Basically, the board want us to sign German players and German-based players, and I can't bring myself to do it. But Kroner, obviously, 18 years of age, he's good. He's an international footballer. He's a wonder kid. He's lots of 13s and 14s, which means once they bump up to, I think, 16, 17, 18, that's when they turn green. He's going to look really, really good. He doesn't look amazing right now, but he is worth £83 to £99 million. I think it's sensible money. And that is actually all we have done for players joining the club, leaving. We've also got a whole bunch of loan spells. Nicolas Nagel going to Freiburg, Mazinho going to Mainz, Osorio going to Newcastle, Ilakena going to Real San Sebastian, Svoboda to Brighton, Amato to Palace, Cesar Moreno to Karl Schürrle, Morea to Rennes, Kellen Slack to Marseille, Braden Stirrup to Wigan, Ross McDonald's gone to Augsburg, Gutierrez to Palace, Navratil we know has gone to Sparta Prague, Oliver Rent has gone to Wolfsburg, we've got Cunha to Regensburg, and Mikel Gonzalez. The experiment will continue, hopefully this time now at Hansa Rostock. He'll get a bit more game time. I think he went there a few seasons ago. He did. He played 20 times for the second team. So yeah, it's been quite a busy summer. Obviously, lots of money has been moving around, but we now have even more transfer budget to spend. We've got £331 million in the bank. I literally cannot spend that money quick enough. From a squad perspective, we are only locking in one player, and that is Kroner. We're only locking him in because I'm not convinced he'll play enough. I feel like they play Evans and Varela, but I think Kroner needs to get that game time, because obviously, obviously he's good, but I don't think he's good enough. He's still only a 2-star player at the moment. Give him a season, he'll be superb, okay? And that's what we're basically going to do. Next season, we shouldn't need to lock him in anymore. Right, let's jump forward then to the end of the initial part of the season. It'll be the start of the January transfer window. We should be still top of the table. We should still be doing well in the DFB Pokal, and we should hopefully be doing all right in the Champions League as well. I want to finish top 8. I want to finish top 8 in the group. So first things first, in the DFB Pokal we are into the quarterfinal up against VfL Wolfsburg. We have beaten Osnabrück 4-1, and in the second round we beat Eintracht Frankfurt, and I don't think we were in the first round. And yes, we were. We won 10-1 against Eilenberg because, you know, we often play a bunch of amateurs in this competition. It's just fun. Surely this shouldn't happen, right? They just get spanked every season. When it comes to the Bundesliga, we are still top of the table, and we are still undefeated. 13 wins, 3 draws. The draws have come against Bayern, Leipzig and Frankfurt, and obviously the wins have come against literally everybody else. We played 16 matches, so one team we haven't played at the moment. I'm guessing it might be Bayern. Just want to have a look now. No, we've just played Bayern and we've beaten them 4-0. That's ridiculous. And finally, in the Champions League, we are down in 11th place at the moment. We have got 3 wins against Arsenal, Juve and Celtic, 2 draws against Napoli and Porto, and 1 defeat up against AC Milan. The funny thing to me is top of the group is Austrian side Sturm Graz. with 4 wins and 2 draws. They've beaten Reims, they've beaten Bilbao, they've beaten Man United and BMG. They've had kind of arguably an easy run there, and they have drawn with Sporting and drawn with Bayern. So they've only scored 9 goals, but they have managed to get them through the knockout round, through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League with 2 games to spare. I'm assuming their 2 games to spare are going to be against some of the big boys, so Benfica and PSG. I mean, they're not... obviously, PSG is big. Benfica is big, but they're probably like a Bilbao. They're not massive, are they? Just seeing they're managed by Ralph Hasenhüttl, which, as a Saints fan, I don't know whether I like that or hate that. Anyway, it is a transfer window. We've got £143 million to spend now, and I'm honestly not even sure why. So last month we didn't sell any players, but yeah, we've just got a lot more money. That was like 80. It's gone up by a huge sum of money. I imagine maybe somebody with a 50% sell on sold or something like that, but there's no big spikes. There's 113 million there and 108 million there, but that seems to be every season. So that's going to be prize money, and then that's going to be transfers. So I don't know. Maybe they've just seen how much money we've got and gone to spend half of it. Just see what you can do. Obviously, with the window open, it's been open for a total of 8 hours at the moment. We haven't done any business at the moment. We will go forward to the end of January, see if we can spend any of this £140 million. I'm not convinced we can, but let's give it a go. We brought in one player to the club, and that is Cheick Koulibaly, who is a 19-year-old French under-21 international right-back, signed from Metz and has immediately gone out on loan to Amiens. His value right now is £51 to £70 million. We definitely overspent. £26 million was spent on Koulibaly. I really wanted a new right-back, okay? We sold Perez in the summer, and we didn't really replace him. Or if we did replace him, I say replace, we didn't need to replace him technically, but we need to kind of get another decent youngster who's going to get as good as Perez. And I'm hoping Koulibaly is that man. That is all the business we've done. We've loaned out a few people as well. Juan Cruz Zapata has gone out on loan to West Ham, the player that we signed technically when we shouldn't have signed him because he turned 20 when we signed him. We've also got Giovanni Vessi has gone out on loan to BMG, who needs to get a bit of game time. He's also got Italy caps. I could have sworn he was only German, but there we are. He's got Italy caps. Fair enough. From a competition standpoint, we are still top of the Bundesliga now. 16 wins, 4 draws to our name and 0 defeats. In the Champions League, we have finished in the top 8. We have qualified in 6th place with 5 wins. Shakhtar, Dortmund, Arsenal, Juve and Celtic, 2 draws against Napoli and Porto and 1 defeat against AC Milan, and we're also into the DFB Pokal semi-final after beating Wolfsburg. Do we know who we're going to be playing in the semi-final? Or does it get drawn? It just needs to get drawn. Fair enough. And we know we've won the Super Cup. And before we jump to the end of the season, just to confirm, we have not changed who is locked into the starting 11. Krona is that man. Numbers are increasing. He's got 2 greens now. I think he only had 1 last time. So I think technique has moved from a 15 to a 16. He's getting better. I feel like this just needs to happen. I just need to lock him in order to kind of fulfill his potential a little bit more. Otherwise, he's just not going to do it. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season. Are we going to win the Bundesliga back-to-back? We are currently top, 10 points clear of Leipzig and Bayern. Are we going to do all right in the Champions League? I'd love to win the Champions League as well. I feel like it might be a bit too far out of our reach, but you never know. In the Champions League, then, we lose at the quarter-final stage, losing up against FC Bayern. Obviously, another German side, not ideal. We managed to get in the... we didn't go through the playoffs, obviously. I'm happy Sturm Graz got through. Well done to them. In the round of 16, we played Sturm Graz and beat them 9-0 on aggregate. So they did well to get that far, and then we turned up and absolutely smashed them. In fact, every single away team wins. That just seemed a bit weird. And then, yeah, in the quarter-final, obviously, that is where we fall over. A final eventually won by Arsenal, beating Real Madrid 2-0. We did manage to pick up our third trophy of the season in the DFB Pokal. Nikolic finds Irwin on that left-hand side, puts it past the goalkeeper, making it 1-0 just before half-time. We're obviously up against Bayer in the final. They do manage to equalise, actually. Early on in the second half, 49th minute, Frimpong goes for a little run through the middle, plays it into Silla, takes a touch, dinks it past Cadillac, making it 1-1, and then we decide we've had enough of this nonsense, and we are just going to score lots and lots of goals. Nikolic with a throw, 70 minutes on the clock, gets the ball back from Nicoli. Is he going to cross the ball in, or is he just going to walk it, instead plays it across to Nicoli, blasts it past the keeper? Seconds later, we make it 3-1. Varela chests the ball down on the edge of the area, finds Evans, lovely little pass, Arbeloda's in the middle, making it 3-1. we're still not done either. The 74th minute, Varela steals that ball away from a Bar player on the ground to Tony Irwin, and Irwin puts the ball into the back of the net. But of course, we are still not done. Varela back to Nicoli. Where is he going to go? On the ground, Arbeloda with a lovely bit of space. Lovely ball as well from Nicoli. Puts it past the goalkeeper as well. And finally, in the 87th minute, we make it 6-1. Martinovic with the headed effort from the corner, meaning we lift the DFB Pokal and we just absolutely batter them eventually. The first half was a bit boring. The second half, we decided we're just going to score all the goals. And finally, in the Bundesliga, we have won back-to-back Bundesliga titles because we have finished top of the table. 27 wins in the end, 6 draws, only 6, and 1 defeat against Leipzig, which means we beat Bayern twice. We beat Dortmund twice as well, by the looks of it. So the only team, obviously, we lost to Leipzig, and we drew with Leipzig. So we never beat Leipzig, but it doesn't matter because we won the league by a massive 12 points. We are back-to-back champions of Germany. Obviously, we've had a youth intake as well because we are still not finished. We've got one more season to go. We've got Kevin Weber, who has come in. He's got lots of arrows going upwards. His value, though, isn't particularly high. 4-star potential, though, on Weber. We've got Lazzarini. His value is pretty decent. I like the value there. I think there could be something with Lazzarini. Obviously, we're not going to look at absolutely everybody. We've got Mario Lorbel, who is a 15-year-old goalkeeper who might be okay. I'm not too convinced on that one. Anyone there that I'm thinking might be interesting? Let's have a look at this guy here. He doesn't look too bad at all. Maybe we've actually not got a terrible intake at all. The last thing to do then is look at the players. We have got 5 players who have broken double figures when it comes to goals. So Rodolfo Caballero, the first one, 44 goals in all league competitions, in just league goals for us actually, since signing. This season, 15 goals in all competitions, 8 of them coming in the league. We've got Tony Irwin, who only started 25. So I guess him and Arbeloda have probably been swapping. 23 goals in all competitions for Arbeloda. In fact, 25 once you include the Club World Cup. We've got, Irwin, now Arbeloda. He's got 30 in all competitions. He's really good at football. I know we kind of expected that to happen, but he's really good at football. Asani Diao, still scoring goals. Still scoring goals for fun. 28 goals in all competitions. In fact, 31 with the Club World Cup. And Russell Hammond, as an attacking midfielder, 28 goals, but 32 and 17 assists as well. And finally, let's take a look at Levin Kroner, the 19-year-old with now 12 caps and a goal to his name for the German national side. He's improving. He is getting better. I am wondering whether we need to lock him in next season or whether we just kind of let our assistant manager do what he wants to do. And Kroner should hopefully be good enough to just get some game time by himself. That's going to do it then for Season 9. We've got one more season to go. Can we become back-to-back champions of Germany? And can we finally win the Champions League? I don't think we can do the Champions League, but 3-time champions of Germany, that sounds pretty good.